The galaxy trembled as the Galactic Empire's greatest warlords assembled. For centuries, the Empire had reigned supreme, crushing resistance across countless star systems. When a new planet, primitive, insignificant by their standards, caught their attention, they decided it was time to bring humanity into line. Earth had always been a problem, stubbornly independent, never fully subjugated. For decades, the Empire had watched, occasionally intervening in Earth's conflicts, but the humans had always resisted. Now it seemed, the time had come to crush Earth's spirit once and for all. The Emperor, seated on his throne aboard the warship Imperium, called upon the fiercest warriors the Empire could offer. The alien warlords were each more terrifying than the last. Vgor, the Ghazi commander with a hive mind capable of assimilating entire populations. Zaltor, the transmogrifier, whose ability to bend and twist space made him an unpredictable nightmare. And Krell, the bloodthirsty Taraxian, a 7-foot-tall creature covered in armored spines who had brought ruin to worlds far and wide. Together, they were sent to Earth, charged with one mission: to wipe out humanity and show the galaxy that no species could defy the Galactic Empire. They arrived with thunder. Massive ships descended from the skies, each one landing in key locations around the globe. The sky darkened with the shadow of the Empire's fleet as the warlords began their assault. The cities of Earth burned, the oceans boiled, and the sky turned red with the fires of conquest. The alien warlords wreaked havoc on a scale humanity had never known, reducing Earth's most powerful nations to rubble. There was no escape, no hope, no one to save them. The alien forces were unstoppable. But there was one thing the Galactic Empire had failed to account for, the one force on Earth that they could not predict. Humanity's resilience was more than just stubbornness. It was born from centuries of survival, of defiance. And in the midst of the alien warlords' chaos, one entity rose from the depths of Earth's darkest legends, one unstoppable force that even the warlords couldn't fathom. Jason Voorhees, a figure who had been long forgotten by most, a mere myth of Earth's violent past. Jason had spent decades hidden in the depths of Camp Crystal Lake, a killer of horrific power, driven by an unyielding bloodlust and an almost supernatural ability to return from death itself. He had been thought dead, buried by the people of Earth, but when the warlords descended upon the planet, something stirred deep within the Earth itself. Jason rose from his grave, his form a hulking figure clad in tattered clothing and a weathered hockey mask. The warlords, having unleashed their armies and their destructive forces, focused on the cities, the military installations, and the strategic centers. They thought they were facing an easy conquest, but they had underestimated what Earth had hidden in its darkest corners. Jason Voorhees, a relentless killing machine, was the last thing they ever expected. The first to encounter Jason was Vgor. The Ghazi warlord had been given control over the eastern regions of Earth, where the remnants of humanity still fought for survival. Vgor, capable of controlling entire populations with his hive mind, had expected to subdue any resistance in an instant. But when his soldiers entered a forest outside of a ruined city, they encountered something far beyond their comprehension. Jason emerged from the shadows, dragging his machete behind him. His movements were slow, deliberate, but his strength was immense, his brutality unmatched. In an instant, he tore through Vgor's soldiers, hacking, slashing, and dismembering them with cold precision. Vgor's hive mind was no match for Jason's primal rage. The alien warlord attempted to overwhelm him by controlling the minds of nearby civilians, forcing them to attack, but Jason was immune to his influence. The machete cleaved through Vgor's drones, and with a single crushing blow, Jason destroyed the warlord's mental network. In a fit of rage, Vgor charged, but Jason grabbed him by the throat and crushed his skull, silencing the warlord forever. Word of the slaughter spread quickly. The Empire's forces, led by Krell and Zaltor, were both baffled and enraged. They had sent their finest warriors to crush Earth, only to be faced with a creature from the planet's past. A mindless killer who, unlike the rest of humanity, was beyond reason, beyond negotiation, beyond any tactic or strategy they could employ. Krell, the Taraxian, marched toward the ruins of an abandoned city, where Jason had been sighted next. The Taraxian's armored spines glowed with lethal energy, his monstrous strength and alien rage barely contained. He encountered Jason in the wreckage of a collapsed skyscraper. The two warriors clashed in a battle of pure brutality. Krell's claws slashed through concrete, and his spiked tail whipped through the air with deadly force. But Jason was relentless, his every movement a strike of bone-shattering power. The battle raged for hours, but in the end, Jason's machete found Krell's throat. The Taraxian fell, his massive form collapsing into the wreckage as Jason stood over him, unmoving. Finally, Zaltor, the transmogrifier, stepped forward. He was the last of the Warlords, a being who could manipulate reality itself, twist space, and bend time to his will. Zaltor believed that no force could resist his control. When he found Jason in a dense forest, he attempted to warp the space around him, distorting the world in an effort to trap and disorient the killer. But Jason's mind was too simple, too primal. Zaltor's tricks had no effect. The alien warlord created illusions, but Jason's machete cleaved through them as easily as it did flesh. With one final strike, Jason impaled Zaltor on a nearby tree, his body collapsing in a twisted heap. In the wake of the destruction, the Empire's forces withdrew in confusion and panic. The Warlords had been defeated, not by Earth's armies, not by advanced technology, but by a simple, unstoppable force of nature. Jason Voorhees, a being born of Earth's most twisted nightmares, had destroyed the Empire's finest warriors. The Warlords, who had once believed themselves invincible, were no match for the primal terror that Earth had sent to face them. The Galactic Empire would soon learn the most important lesson of all. Earth was not just a planet of primitive beings struggling to survive. It was a world capable of producing forces of unimaginable destruction, forces they could never control. And among those forces, the most terrifying of all was Jason Voorhees, an unkillable killer who, for the first time, had found a purpose far greater than his endless bloodlust. He had become Earth's final line of defense. And now, Earth's enemies would know fear. For the galaxy's mightiest warriors had been reduced to nothing more than corpses, scattered across the planet, their plans for conquest crushed under the weight of a single force, the unstoppable, relentless Jason Voorhees.